What's happening, my people? Yo, what is good? Happy February 15th, 2025. Korner Store Podcast, episode 141 is on the air. Yeah. What's good, everybody? It's your boy OMD Dex 300, and this is the Korner Store Podcast. If you do me a great honor and subscribe to the page, and I got a surprise for y'all. You probably already know this by looking at my numbers. Corner Store Television today, as of the other day, to be honest with you, has reached 20,000 subscribers. You heard me right, 20,000 subscribers. That is just amazing. I couldn't be more happy. I just want to thank everybody, man, from the bottom of my heart for getting me to this point. There's a lot of people I could thank. At least 90% of the people that are in my contacts in my phone have something to do with it. I could name everybody, but I bugged the hell out of people by sending them links to the podcast and other content that is on my YouTube channel. And 20,000 subscribers is a lot. Now, obviously, I don't know 20,000 people. I may have met 100,000 in my life, but 20,000 subscribers, and this is across the country. Across the waters, actually. I have subscribers in a lot of European countries, France, the UK, Canada, and abroad. And I want to thank you guys for subscribing to the podcast and to the channel. 20,000 people is not nothing to not, be celebratory about. I couldn't be more happy to have the people feeling me and feeling what I'm trying to do. I couldn't be happier about that. And I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for giving what I'm doing an opportunity to be seen as well as heard. And 141 episodes of this podcast. There should be a lot more of these episodes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't always do content. I need to there's so many other things that have to be done until this is really monetized to the point where I just can't do anything else but this. I have to do other things to keep afloat, to be able to take care of necessities and bills and things of that nature. But this is the most important thing to me, other than doing my comedy and the acting that I do and other things. But doing content and doing Corner Store Podcast, Corner Store Media type things is the most important thing. But 20,000 subscribers after damn near 3 years, it might be even 3 years, a little bit over 3 years, we have reached 20,000 subscribers, a little over 20,000 subscribers, to be honest with you. I think it's at almost 20,100, to be honest with you. And it's because of you guys out there. And I want to thank you so very much for that. I couldn't be more happy. So please pass this on, pass on the content, pass on what I'm doing, and it couldn't be more appreciated. So with that said, let's continue on. Today's episode is dealing with the fallout and reaction to a event that transpired last weekend or a weekend ago. Yeah, a weekend ago, if I'm not mistaken. This weekend, we have the NBA All-Star game, which is ironically a 1 week after the Super Bowl. And to this day, as we sit here, the Super Bowl halftime performance by none other than to me, one of the legendary hip hop artists of our time, as well as in previous times, because there's obviously some great hip hop artists. I am a huge Nas fan. I'm actually the hugest. Hey, what's happening, man? Thank you, thank you. Hello, 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 everybody. Shout out to Sonia Ingersoll. Shout out to Mr. Negus Freeman, uh, my nephew in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to him. Thank you guys for being here. 20,000. I don't even know what to say. My nephew said congratulations, and I appreciate that. You know, I hate to toot my own horn, but it's been a long time coming. So I couldn't be more, happy to have uh, you guys giving me props on that. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of work, a lot of grind, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of money spent on certain pieces of equipment in order to be able to bring this to you. And I couldn't be more honored to have you guys uh, join me when I do what I do. So, as I was saying before, when it comes in regards to hip hop history, uh, everybody knows that hip hop actually started in the 1940s. It wasn't considered that then, but there was kind of like scatting or rapping to that effect. But over the years, it manipulated into, or not really manipulated, but it grew into what it is today. Sugar Hill Gang actually was the first rap group to have a mainstream hip hop song with rappers delight. Uh, the amazing thing to me is I never knew hip hop would grow to what it is today. Let's just be honest with that. But it did because most of the things, uh, yeah, my nephew here he comes with all of with all of his knowledge of the history and everything, and he mentions Pig Meat Markham is the first hip hop artist. I have no idea who the hell that is. Obviously, he's gonna give me more information on that, which is appreciated. But obviously, that with that name, he's got to be old as hell. It has to be over almost 100 years, 100 years ago. Pig Meat Markham, the first hip hop artist. I appreciate that history lesson, bro. But basically, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of hip hop artists that were before Kendrick Lamar's time. But as far as I'm concerned, bro is keeping hip hop ingrained in today's society with not only just music or just talking about shaking butts or killing somebody or uh, it's real. It's street stuff, but it's street stuff in a sense of actually learning something or giving a message. Well, let me say. Well, I just got some more information from him. Let me tell you what he meant about Dewey Pig Meat Markham. Was an African American entertainer. Though best known as a comedian, Markham was also a singer, dancer, and actor. His nickname came from a stage routine in which he declared himself to be Sweet Papa Pigmeat. He was sometimes credited in films as Pigmeat Alamo Markham. Hey, if you want to read this, read the read the chat and learn a little history. I appreciate Mr. Davis, Mr. Christopher Davis, giving that to us. So you can kind of have a little history of what hip hop is and so forth, or at least how it's supposedly started. But with that said, and I appreciate that, anybody that's on the live, is on the chat, please read the chat so you can get a little history lesson on hip hop and how it came of age. With that said, this is this show is not necessarily in regards to hip hop itself, but the actual performance that happened during the halftime of the Super Bowl, which I thought was an amazing performance. A lot of people, the reaction to that performance is what we're talking about today. And there's a lot of other, content shows that are speaking on the same thing. I gave a small story. I did reels and stories about this as well, but I thought I'd have an episode in regards to it and talk about the state of where we are in the United States and the fact that there's so many Black people who had something negative to say about the performance, which has thrown me for an absolute loop. We are living in some really, really troubling times psychologically to me. And what I mean by that is the fact that this young man, Kendrick Lamar, who's from Compton, California, and this man is very well renowned in the United States, having won a Pulitzer Prize for his poetic endeavors and musical endeavors. He's won a Grammy, 5 Grammys in this recent Grammy, this year's Grammy show, which is an achievement a lot of rappers can. I don't think there's any rappers that can say they won 5 Grammys in one show. Maybe Macklemore damn near won 5 at the time, and you see where he is. And I appreciate Macklemore. I don't have anything to say against Macklemore, who's a Caucasian rapper. And he felt like he was being honored because, of his skin color. He actually came out and said that. Nobody ever tries to make anything about, especially Black. We don't try to make it about race. Everybody else does, but when we speak about it being about race, that's when people's like, "Oh, why you always bringing up race? Why you always?" You can't help it because you got you. If you set up the pins and we roll a bowling ball and knock them down, it is what it is. So what I'm disturbed by in this day and age is the simple fact that this man can come up with a performance that was trying to tell you about the current state of not only the United States, but the world in general when in regards to race. And so many of my people, the people of my skin color and ilk, hey, how you doing? How you doing, Miss T? I appreciate you. How are you? Thank you for being here on the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. Everybody that's on the chat. Good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Saturday after Valentine's Day, which is a whole nother subject we could talk about. And but I don't even want to get on it. Maybe I'll talk about that before we get out of here. Which is, all of these holidays. They want you to celebrate those holidays, but in this political world we live in now, with the guy who we have in the office, he decides he wants to take away every holiday in regards to Black people and their achievements in the United States. Make it make sense. Bonjour, bonjour. Salut français, zouzou. uh, what to play music, hip hop today? If you can hear it, it's in the background. I got a little hip hop beats playing in the background. And actually, I'm going to have some more content today where I'll be, it's a music show. I might as well tell you that as well. It's called the New Artist Music Review, and I'll be review. It's not really even more of a review. I think I may even change the name of the show. It's just playing artists that you might not necessarily know of, playing their music and giving them some shine, because there's some great artists out there who are not mainstream and need to be heard. And I think uh, it's one of those things where we got to do that more often. We got to give uh, artists opportunities to be of being heard and celebrate their music. One being Max Vision, who I did a song with. He's an artist out of San Diego, California, and bro is really, really amazing. He's a very talented dude, and I think he should be way mainstream, way mainstream. But that's neither here nor there. Back on the subject. Thank you, Miss T. I didn't know you play Adina Howard. Adina Howard, I actually met Adina Howard. I don't know her super well, but I met her. She's from Phoenix, Arizona, and she came to a studio that I worked at many, many, many years ago, and we had a conversation. And she's a very, very cool person, very, very beautiful lady, very talented. And I got a chance to get to know her. That was really cool. Uh, Back on the subject that I was speaking of, there's a lot of videos. If you look out there, there's a lot of videos that have been made, content that has been made by Black people, not necessarily African Americans. We're talking Black people around the world. There's one specific Black woman that's in England, real lot of makeup, kind of heavy set girl. She talks like this. She talks like this. I hate to mimic her, but she has a really weird way, not really weird, but unusual way of speaking. I did not want to see or hear a message in the halftime show. How are you gonna even talk about if you're in Europe? If you're in Europe and you speaking on the Super Bowl, you ain't got no fucking legs to stand on. Let's get that straight now. It ain't like we over here watching the European soccer. There are probably some people who watch the European soccer championships. They probably are. But I'm gonna tell you right now, we not tripping off of you guys'. Yeah, see, my nephew just said I've seen a lot of those kind of videos as well. These people are making all these comments on the Super Bowl, and they're not even in the United States of America, which is fine because we obviously the NFL wants it to be a universal game. They're even thinking about having teams from over there in different European cities that are in the NFL in the league. And that's, get your money because that's all this place is all about is getting millions and millions of dollars more if they can. But the thing that kills me is all those people having opinions on Kendrick Lamar's performance and it being about the things that are going on oppressively in the United States of America. And you guys got opinions about it. I don't know where you live, Germany, France, England, the UK, because the UK, and I never knew this, that the UK is different. It's not all one country. It's England, Ireland, and a whole bunch of countries in those islands, that is under the United Kingdom. And I just got a history lesson on that recently, and now I know more about, how that works over there. It don't matter what European country you're in, you have no legs to stand on in regards to talking to us about oppression in the United States. We're all the descendants. I know I'm a descendant of slaves because I was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and both my grandparents and their people and their families were descendants of slaves. So it's obvious if there were any reparations, I'd definitely be on the fucking list, as well as my nephew who's on this chat right now. What up? What up? Bobo the Bread Boy is in the house. Oh my God, this is crazy. Shout out to this guy who just jumped on the live right here. For those, he is a rapper from Nebraska. Bobo the Bread Boy. I love you, man. Hey, I'm going to be having a new artist music review show, and I will probably be playing your music today, brother. Big love. Shout out to Bobo. For those who are on here, everybody on the live, say hi to Bobo. He represents the team, THUH, and from Nebraska, Omaha to be exact. And there was a time that me and my son, who's in the Navy now, shout out to my son, Brandon Davis, aka KG Hustle, is a Navy sailor now, training in Chicago, Illinois on his ship. And everybody give a shout out to KG Hustle and send him best wishes on him finishing in his training and going on to his next duty station. Yeah, KG, you know what I'm saying? KG, I appreciate you being here, Bobo. Thank you, bro. Bobo's music is real dope, man. He be having me, man. Some of the stuff he be talking. A shout out to his brother who passed away. Godspeed. I hope you don't mind me mentioning some of his personal, tragedies that happened. But I remember, finding out that his brother was gone, and we just want to lift him up in prayer. And much love to you, Bobo, man. No, you definitely ain't derailing nothing, man. Thank you for being here, man. You're one of the people that help, keep my content going. We're now at 20,000 subscribers, a little over 20,000 subscribers. It's because of people like yourself that keep us going, and we also gonna keep banging your music and keep sharing the love and putting out each other's content out there. I couldn't be more happy and proud to have you here, bro. Thank you so much. Omaha, Nebraska in the house, y'all. Omaha, Nebraska in the building. Omaha, Nebraska in the building, bro. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 20K. You know what I mean? We're doing our thing. Thank you, God. Appreciate that. And back to the subject at hand. Are we in a day and age now where people that look like you actually is working to defeat the purposes of equality? Ask yourself that question. Has it really gotten to that point? Has it really gotten to that point, y'all? I was one gentleman, I don't know this man's name. I've seen him before, and you probably have too. There was a video of him. He had went to a MAGA event because he's a black man, a black gay man, to be honest with you. And him being gay has no bearing on what we're talking about today. But he is a MAGA representative of that culture, and he went to a event and was subsequently called homophobic slurs and the N word, and he represents them. He's down with them. But he recently made a post in regards to Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance and called it whack. He even mentioned, he went out of his way to mention the Super Bowl party that I attended. The white people there didn't understand the music. They couldn't understand the words, and he was just. It breaks my heart to see people like him who hate their skin so much, to hate the color of their skin and the skin that they live in. It's one thing to want people to be equal, and like I have white friends like this and that. And I just want us to all be. I can get that. I see that, but you can tell when somebody really hates themselves, and if they could do this all over again, or do a Sammy Sosa like thing and bleach their skin and straighten their hair to make it wavy and silky smooth like they use Weller Balsam shampoo, that they would do it in a heartbeat. If they had one wish, if they found a bottle somewhere and they had one wish and they rubbed it and the genie came out and the genie said, I'll give you three wishes. No bullshit. And you can't go, with one of your wishes, you can't say, I wish for three more wishes. No, you can only wish three things that these certain individuals would wish that their skin color changed. And obviously they had a lot of money. And, that breaks my heart, man. That absolutely breaks my heart. I feel some type of way in regards to something like that. The only reason why I can step out on a tree limb and say that is because of how hard all of us, and I don't know about their struggle, but we've all had struggles. And some of it has been struggles in the sense of, some of it has been in the sense of race relations. If you guys hear some banging or something in the background, I guess one of my neighbors is next door doing something. And his space. And so my apologies on any of that stuff. These microphones are pretty sensitive, so it may be picking up that noise. But that's a part of the deal when you live around people. Uh, the sad thing is, I actually have to have a podcast in this vein, in this regard, to talk about that and how many people. I could hear what he was saying absolutely perfectly, Kendrick Lamar, during his halftime show. I would be lying if I said I knew all Kendrick's music. I've listened to most of those albums that he's come out with. Obviously, Good Kid, Mad City being his first debut album. I know that one really, really well. I was a huge fan of that, so obviously I became a huge fan of him. And just like any other artist, when they come out with albums, you don't necessarily love everything that they do. Uh, Even though I may not love all the songs, I know pretty much the criteria of a lot of the music he's made and why he went the way he did on certain albums. He's an artist. Artists paint pictures, even if it's with sound. So I put him in the same vein as Picasso as far as painting pictures. I put him in the same vein as Shakespeare as far as being a playwright, even though I think Shakespeare could be a little bit overrated, but he's one of the great supposed scribes of all time as far as making plays. Uh, I put him in the same vein as any of the great sculptors. I put him in the same vein as some of the great artists who did comic books, because in a lot of ways, historic comic books and the art within is just as important as anything else. They're Pulitzer Prize winning comic illustrators and storytellers. So they're no different than anything else when it comes to the form that we call art. So to have a bunch of people making videos saying how disappointed they were in the halftime show because it wasn't something that they not only necessarily didn't like as far as the music or the art, but that it was making a statement. We shouldn't be having something that makes a statement. To prove how stupid and idiotic those comments are, I don't know if you guys remember, I was around for this when Whitney Houston at a Super Bowl sang the national anthem. And it's considered one of the greatest national anthems sung at a sports event. She was making a statement then, wasn't she? It was about patriotism. All the people crying, listening to. There were people at that Super Bowl crying, listening to that lady sing that anthem. And they had so much pride. That was making a statement. It's the same damn thing. The symbolism of Sam Jackson as Uncle Sam. Megyn Kelly of Fox News, who actually thinks that these fictional characters are real. And when I say these fictional characters, this woman actually thinks Santa Claus is real and had the temerity to say that there should be no other color of Santa Claus. This is a fictional character. Are you absolutely insane? People are so engrossed in race because they're the ones who indoctrinate all of this negativity in regards to it. At one time, Irish and Italian Americans weren't even considered white. Make that make sense. But not to get too deep into that, we're basically talking about the innate insanity of people that look like me that actually had something negative to say about Kendrick Lamar's performance. If by any chance they were only talking about, well, I was bored, he didn't do the songs that I liked, I could kind of give you I could you kind of have some legs to stand on for that. I could actually think, to myself, I'll be like, you know what, I kind of get that. I see what they're saying on that. Maybe they didn't like the songs he did. Maybe they wanted him to do stuff from that first album. Europe, but that's how Europe was uh, operated before the U.S. became a republic. Yeah, you're right about that. I know that's how Europe operated. They were fighting amongst themselves. If you remember, the British were the Romans actually were the ones who invaded the Italian islands, Sicily, and all of that. And obviously the Rome, which is Italian, it's Italy, uh, dominated Europe for a long time, as well as the Moors from the Arab countries, which were black, ruled over Europe too for a little over 600 years. And I think that's where this disdain for black people comes from. But that's a whole nother subject we could talk about and broach on another podcast episode. But Europe was known for war. They were known, while the Indians are the Native Americans, and a lot of people seem to think there were black people here in the United States before uh, Europeans got here and then went to Africa, the continent of Africa, to different African nations and took people and enslaved them. But in the New World, so-called New World, uh, there were already people over here that were just living just as docile and killing buffalo and living off the land and just as happy as they could be before European countries got here, such as Spain and the Dutch and the English. But the simplest form of what we're talking about today is the simple fact that Europe is a war-torn country, and as thriving as these countries are over in Europe today, from France and to the UK and all the countries over there that are doing well, most of them are indoctrinated by fighting and war, and also ethnic cleansing. Like one country would be like, nah, we got to kill all of these people because they're not of this. It's about monarchies. It's always been about having pure blood or royal blood or the right being the right color, so to speak. So that's why we're dealing with this kind of shit to this day. And also, it's also about as well, if you can hear that, if the vehicle just started next door. I guess this guy is doing something in his car. Uh, hmm, yeah. So, uh, basically, what we need to do and what we need to realize is that this is something that's not going to go away. Division amongst the masses. The scary thing for us as black people in the United States is that when you meet somebody that look like you, just remember they might not necessarily be down for you. They might be waiting to hear how you speak. They might be waiting to hear where you come from, what area you live, what state that you grew up in, to kind of size you up because they may be on the other team, if you know what I mean, and have no bones about telling you that they are on the other team. With all of the senators and congressmen who are black that are MAGA, that throws me off. I never thought we'd get to a day where people would give up you know, their race. Or maybe they were dogged out as a kid. Maybe they were a nerd and got beat up. That's why we have a lot of cops that are black, because they was growing up and they never felt like they was a part of their race. What Childish Gambino say? This is my nephew saying what Childish Gambino say. Stay woke. Agreed. I agree wholeheartedly. We got to stay woke, folks. We got to stay ready for whatever. Because there's always going to be bullshit. Always. It's a shame that I have to have shows in reaction to a halftime performance. Sad, ain't it? But I will say this, there is time for celebration. As I stated before, 20,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers here, 20,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers on TikTok, 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I couldn't be more proud. As of yesterday, I do not have a Corner Store television Instagram page anymore. I'm trying to get off of Instagram altogether. Anything Meta, anything Mark Zuckerberg, I'm trying to get off of it. I'm definitely trying to get off of it because I don't fuck with him. I'm a huge Amazon user. What up? What up, Never Ever? What's happening, my man? What's going on? Thank you for being here, Brody. What's happening? I should be saying something on the chat to y'all. And I will. I think I will right now. I appreciate y'all. Corner Store. What up, everyone? I had to say something. Everybody said, I had a lot of people say greetings and salutations to you, boy. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you so much. Same day, same shit, different toilet. On my mama. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much. See, that's what I do this for. I'm talking about every person, every walk of life that comes to my YouTube and says things like, you have a fire podcast collection back there. Some of the stories that I've been putting up on the reels I've been putting up on YouTube, which deal with cats like these two dudes behind me. If let me put my thumbs right, from like Nipsey, from Tupac to Nipsey Hussle. I got my boy Michael Jordan. Let me see if I'm doing. Yeah, Michael Jordan right here. If you play Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, I'm a huge fan. Um, my boy Bob Marley up there, right there. You know what I'm saying? You got Mike over here. So, I put up stuff NWA above my head. These are iconic people. Oh, thanks, bro. These are iconic people. And I want this pod to be iconic as all these individuals you see behind me, and some of the great video games. And if you can see the other wall, I do other content. I have a comic book show. Please go check that out. By the way, it's getting more and more sophisticated, just like the podcast. It's called Comic Book Corner, where I speak on. I got some new stuff I just received. Shout out Sonia Ingersoll, my girlfriend, who just blessed me yesterday, Valentine's Day, even though we don't celebrate it like, people do. We just, it might as well be, if it's going to be that day, we might as well get together and have dinner and love on each other and thank each other for being in each other's lives. And she brought me some more comic books material that I'm going to have to share on the next Comic Book Corner show. And thank her. I love you, babe. And I have, the other wall here is decked out with things in that regard. And like I said, man, I couldn't be more blessed. I couldn't be more blessed to have uh, a channel where people are starting to enjoy not only the content, but enjoy what I'm talking about in the subject matter. Even though sometimes the subject matter can be a little negative, not negative in the sense of me saying some negative things. I'm basically responding to things that are not great. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm definitely actually. I was born in 1966. For those who don't know, I'm 58 years old. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a lot younger than I am. Some people actually know. They look at me, especially when they see me walking with these badass knees. They be like, "Oh yeah, OG, da 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 da, or Unc, or whatever the new words they use today to kind of, I'm not mad at I'm not mad at being nobody's Unc or OG or whatever, as long as you're saying it in a positive vein and not no bullshit vein trying to be funny, because you're gonna get old one day. I tell young people this all the time: enjoy your youth. Don't waste any fucking time not doing what you need to do to make yourself successful. Because when you get older, you're not going to be able to move the same. You're not going to be able to think the same. I think pretty good. I'm too blessed in the regards of having a good memory, no derangement, and no weirdo shit as of yet that could stop me from thinking and planning and doing that. But there will become a time that I can't move hardly, that I can't think hardly. I may not remember things well. You know what I'm saying? So you better take advantage of your youth, especially in this day and age where things are fucking hard as fuck and they're making it harder every single day. If you voted for Trump and you on this chat, and I'm not saying anything to you other than the fact you fucked up when you did that. If you thought that this man was going to get in office and bring you some, I don't know what people were thinking who would vote for dude, especially if you black. And set aside that stupid ass fucking comment Joe Biden made. If you ain't black, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He's only a white dude trying to figure out a way to get black people to vote for him because he's white. And that's why he would say something so fucking idiotic. And that's the reason why they switched him up and put Kamala Harris in there as the representative for the Democratic Party, which was not a bad move. It was just too fucking late. All you had to do, if you wanted people to vote for a new candidate, you should have found a young, charismatic white dude. Because look, in a two-party system, you have nothing but what? Two fucking choices. In this sense, it would have been the choice of the Democrats would have been a lesser evil choice. Because I believe all of it is bullshit. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Both parties can eat a dick. Yeah, you heard it right here on Korner Store Podcast. And I'm going to give you a little nomenclature on the reasoning why I call this place Korner Store Television and Korner Store Podcast. Because it's rooted in the corner store mentality of talking about what's going on in the world. You know, if you black, there's a corner store right now in your area where the group of people, whether they're bums, whether they're just people from the neighborhood, whether they're just somebody going in there to get a soda, or whether some kids coming from school to get candy, there's always conversations going on about what's happening, whether it be music, whether it be politics. And those little corner store conversations go on. People might stop and talk for, hey girl, did you hear about such and such? And and then they go about their day. Hence, that's why I came up with this Korner Store Television, Korner Store Podcast, corner this, corner that, because that's what we known for. We known for expressing our opinion. I could have called it the barbershop fucking podcast if I wanted to, but obviously I'd have to have a barbershop setting in order to do that. But nah, that didn't even ring either. That didn't even ring as far as I'm sure that could be something we could think about down the road, but it's probably somebody already fucking doing that, if I'm not mistaken. But Korner Store Podcast has been around for a few years now. Korner Store, I couldn't be more happy, man, to see people resonating from around the world. I'm surprised my homeboy Best from France is not on here today. Yeah, you heard me. From the fucking south of France, or West France, if I remember him correctly. and I don't even know if it's a him or her. I'm assuming it's a him. And we got Miss. Let me see here. We got Miss T Mert, who's from France. Bonjour as well. So I have people from around the world that rock with Corner Store. You heard me. Around the world that rock with Corner Store. I have to give myself a round of applause for that. You goddamn right. I have to give myself a round of applause for that. The corners, hey, check out what my cousin. Check out what my nephew just said. He said the corner stone is the strongest center stone in any structure. Now, I never thought about it that way. That's not now. If you go to a corner store, it's usually somewhere where you can see it perfectly. Everybody know. Hey man, go down to the. Cause you remember your mom. If you black, there was a time at least once, unless you grew up in a suburb, some goddamn way, and got chauffeured around all over the place and didn't walk nowhere, and your family didn't send you nowhere. But I remember go down to the corner store and grab me some cornmeal. Go down to the corner store and give me a pack of cigarettes. Back in the day, believe it or not, they would send, depending on where you grew up, you go to a southern town and there was a little store that sold liquor, and they actually would send your ass with a note to the store. And because the person knew your mama, she would sign that letter saying, "This is my son, or this is my daughter. Here, they got the money. Could you give me a fifth of such and such and a pack of Pall Malls or Winston's or whatever and give it to my kids so they wouldn't have to get their lazy ass up and come down to the store themselves?" I'm sure there's some black people that have stories that, especially black people of my ilk, meaning my age range. I don't even know. I don't even know if you can consider me a baby boomer. I forget what millennium or whatever, the generation. I don't even know what generation I'm from. I was born in 1966. I graduated high school in 1984. That should tell you everything you need to know in regards to me. So my thought process is one of pure love for my people and sometimes hatred of my people as well, because sometimes I hate the things I see that we do. I guess okay, I'm a baby boomer. Sometimes I do hate the things that I see my people do because we need to be better. We need not make money off of our supposed, they already have ideas of who we are. I just recently saw a movie with Kiki Palmer and SZA. It was very Friday-like. I think Friday is a legendary film because it did show, some stereotypes of our people, but they were stereotypes that weren't really so bad and blatantly terrible that, oh, that's how they are, with the Debo character, the neighborhood bully. Everybody knows the Debo somewhere where you grew up, a dude that everybody was scared of when he came around. Ezel, God rest his peace to that comedian who played Ezel, the crackhead, neighborhood crackhead. Um, Ice Cube's character, somebody like him. Somebody like Smokey, Chris Tucker's character. The cute girl, Nia Long. That cute girl that lived across the street who mama go to Vegas. And, if you ever get a chance, you and her kick it. Y'all be like, damn, I was with so-and-so and we date now or whatever. That show resonated with so many different people, not just for the fact, AJ Johnson, rest in peace, AJ Johnson, correct. That show resonated to us because we saw ourselves in those characters. At least I did growing up in Los Angeles. So it resonated across the country because the neighborhoods in LA, though with palm trees, it's the same neighborhoods with pine trees in Ohio, or the same neighborhood with green bushes and green grass in Georgia somewhere. All it is different, the different Southern dialect or the Midwestern dialect or the Baltimorean dialect or New York dialect, whatever. It's any town USA with black people in it. We all the same, believe it or not. But obviously, because you're from New York, which is sad to me, some people, black people in New York, are we better than people in LA? No, you're not. We all the fucking same. This country will have you thinking that you better. This country will have you thinking that you're better than somebody from the West Coast. And that I got friends in New York from New York that live downtown LA and say they couldn't live nowhere in California, nowhere else in California except downtown LA because everywhere else is country. It's feel country out here. What the fuck you doing out here then? Go back to New York. If you move from New York to LA and you move downtown LA where all the buildings is because you wanted to feel like you're back home, you might as well be back to fuck home. If I was to move to New York, I would have a condo or town, whatever the fuck they call them, a real nice a place in Manhattan or wherever is the best place to live if I could afford to live there. And that's one of the reasons why they're here in LA, because they can't afford to live in their own fucking state that they love and that they grew up within. That's the reason they're out here trying to make a go at it. But yet still, they couldn't live in the valley or shit. There's some people who live in South Central say they couldn't live in the valley. I can't live in the valley. It's too slow. I like the fire engines and it would be too quiet for me. That's just nuts to me. But that's how these metropolitan cities will have you thinking. All of the noise and crime, you get so used to it that if you were without it, you'd feel like you was lost or some bullshit like that. This world is crazy, man. It will have your ass thinking you're supposed to be around a bunch of bullshit to feel sane. When sanity is in here and in here. You don't have to be around a bunch of people. The red clay from Georgia. My nephew still. You ain't lying. That Georgia red clay ain't no joke. When it get on your clothes, you fucked. Especially if it's wet. Yeah. Anyway, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode because it was all over the place. I know I was trying to sell the major subject, which was Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. And for those who didn't know, his performance was the greatest of all time with 133.5 million viewers, which beat out Michael Jackson's halftime performance with him coming, popping up at the top of the scoreboard with like a bunch of different ones. I think it was probably the first time they ever used holograms to make it look like he was all over the stadium. And he got over 132 odd million views that Super Bowl, which I don't remember the date of that. Or what year that was. But that says more to me about Kendrick Lamar and even all these naysayers. The funny thing is, all them people talking all that shit about his performance, but they sat through the whole goddamn thing. 1993. My nephew just said that's when Michael Jackson performed. All these people got all these negative things to say, especially to the white people. You know what? Y'all didn't turn off the Super Bowl performance though. 133 million people watched it, but you didn't turn it off. Make it make sense. You didn't go in the other room and make a sandwich. You didn't turn the volume down. You sat there and you watched the whole thing just to make a stupid ass fucking opinion afterwards. This shit, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this up. Everybody talking all that shit about the performance, but they sat there and watched it. It was so boring. Nobody knew what he was saying. Why would you watch something you don't know what they're saying? They're lying to you. The performance was extraordinarily gifted. The performance was exciting. One black woman came on. And see, this is when you know they full of shit. I'm going to get crucified for this comment. You want to be crucified because you want somebody to maybe not necessarily agree with what you're saying, but you want clicks. You want somebody to look at your video and have an opinion on what you're saying. That's why you start out with that stupid ass statement. I'm going to get killed for this. Because people, because everybody like the shit. See, you be telling on yourself. You tell on yourself when you start your videos. You tell on yourself when you say shit like that. You already know the fucking shit. The popular opinion is that that performance was off the chain by a dude that is just way smarter than you. That's the thing to kill it. You sit there and you're telling people how dumb you are when you say I didn't get it. When everybody else get it. There are so many white people who love that performance and they're breaking it down to you what all the shit meant. I'll be watching videos on TikTok all the time. White people breaking it down. Oh, you motherfuckers talking about you don't understand it. Well, let me break it down to you. And they be right on point. You know why? Because they know you're full of shit. How are you black and you talking against your own people? You really think a white person who doesn't like black people gonna accept you? They'll accept you. Go get me some water, nigga. That's all you're gonna ever get from them. The ones who think that way. Don't think every white person like that. The only way you're gonna know that to see their real heart is to see how they kick it and talk to you. They give you the time of day in the best of ways, being forthright and beautiful and wonderful, and not just trying to indoctrinate themselves as your friend for any other reason. They be, most people who are really truly your friend, whether they're black, white, or whatever, are not looking to pacify you. They're just looking to be treated like another human being, just like you are, with respect. Those are real true friends. And most true friends don't even speak to each other all the goddamn time. They don't. Most true friends are set up something, see each other a couple times a month and go about their business because they out grinding, trying to get it. This world is very, very hard, and they're making it hard every day. So most people ain't got time to be fucking around with you every weekend or every other day. If you got a friend calling you, let's go out this weekend. I can't, girl. I got to do this, or I can't, homie. I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be doing this, and they give you some shit about it. You need to stop fucking with them because they're not on their grind. They're not trying to do the best they can for themselves and their family. You should only hang out with your friends a couple times a month. Have a nice little get together at your home, their home, or out somewhere, and enjoy each other's company and talk periodically and text periodically during the weeks and months. We have too much to do to be sitting up here worried about each other like this. In the vein of that, understand that, y'all. We got shit to do. I love y'all. Hey, you hear the music that got up a little higher. All that means is episode 141 has come to an end. I hope you got something out of this today. Thank everybody who was on the chat today. We got new shows coming up this week. I got an announcement to make. This is going to kill you. There's an all-star domino tournament coming up on the 28th, 29th of this month, the last week of this month. It's going to be at the Hawaiian Gardens Hotel in California, in Los Angeles. I'm going to be a referee. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are going to be there. It is a all-star domino tournament, which I'm going to be refereeing. Hawaiian Gardens Hotel, the 28th and 29th of February. Your boy Dex is going to be there. The UDL, the United Domino League. Yes, the UDL, and you can check them out, UDL on Instagram, UDL Domino League, United Domino League. Check that out. They got that event coming up. Please try to get there and check out your boy. I'll be there, or be square. Snoop, and I know I talked a little shit about Snoop. I'm sorry, Snoop. I know you're just getting your money being down at that Trump event, but I don't know if you're going to lay that one down, but that's neither here nor there. But I'll be at the event there, and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg is going to make an appearance, and they might even be playing dominoes. I might be reffing a couple of these domino games, but I will be a referee on the 29th, I believe. I think I'm only working one day. And I appreciate y'all being here, man. Thank you for being here. Korner Store Podcast. Thank you for subscribing. to the the Korner Store Television YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, pass this on, share this with everybody. It's your boy OMD. Look for some new episodes with guests coming up this week. Shout out to Negus Freeman, aka Chris Davis, my nephew. He will be a guest on the podcast real soon via YouTube split screen. Yeah, man, we got a lot going. It's popping. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Peace.